Salute and thank you, NERDSoul. Yeah, lay ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bring that StreetGeek and NERDSoul. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's go because we talking rings of power. That's right. Once again, we ain't gonna do too much. I just got some questions, and we actually forgot some stuff. I forgot some stuff. Solar told me I forgot some stuff. So first, let me introduce to you Cinematic Sorcerer. What's up, Solar Gray?
Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer and resident Tolkien guy.
So we talked about Rings of Power a little earlier today, and he was like, hey, we didn't talk about Tom Bombadil. And
You did not.
I forgot because he was one of the main people that I put question marks beside because I had no idea who this guy was, what was going on, all that good stuff. And so I'll throw it to you, I guess, to give me some broad strokes. Who is Tom Bombadil?
Well, don't you know his name?
I mean, yeah.
All right, then you know Tom. No,
And see, this is another thing, real quick. Okay, if I was a character in any story like this, I'd be like, hey, look, I know you're the eclectic weird guy that speaks in riddles, and I appreciate it. But we got some very serious stuff going on, so I kind of need you to cut to the chase so we can move on.
Oh, that ain't Tom. That's practically the opposite of Tom Bombadil. So your question is, who is Tom Bombadil?
Yeah,
Now,
because he said he's the eldest, and
Yeah.
the eldest of who?
eldest of Middle Earth.
Oh, so like it's not like he has like he's not talking about like brothers and sisters or like a group of people or something like that. He's talking about like everything.
Well, the answers to both is yes, because everything on that planet is like his brothers and sisters, and he was the first. You know? All right. So essentially,
All right, I'm strapping in. I'm ready for the ride.
strap
Please
in.
break it down.
So when Eru Iluvatar created the universe, God said, "Let there be light," and He then created the universe and the Maiar. Okay, and with the Maiar, He gave them permission to create things, living things, the trees, the plants, the dwarves. Eru Iluvatar himself created elves, and he's like, these are my creations. But before he did all that, he made a place for them to be.
Okay.
And so he made Arda. Arda is the planet that Lord of the Rings takes place on.
All right. Okay.
Now, the whole going into the Undying Lands is essentially a dimensional gate to go back to heaven. Arda is the earth. And Tom is the anthropomorphization of that.
Okay. So basically, he is Arda?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Okay.
He is Arda, but from a singular perspective. So he's not seeing through every tree and every plant and every animal and every that. No, he's Tom.
Okay.
But
So that
she's the planet.
So okay, that kind of gives me a little insight into why the evil sorcerer people, why they want to get to Gandalf, or what I assume is Gandalf
It's
before
Gandalf.
he does.
Let's just call him the Grand Elf. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool, because they don't want Tom to put him, like, pretty much give him all the skills or teach him all the abilities or whatever.
I was incorrect in thinking that the evil wizard was the Witch King of Agmar.
Okay.
This guy is a new creation for the show.
Oh, he is?
Was a dark wizard that was mentioned in the Silmarillion in like 3 lines of one chapter, who this guy might be based on.
All right. Okay.
And keep in mind, I said the Silmarillion reads like the Book of Numbers. I am not joking, because essentially it's a truncated history of the entire history of that universe, with the Lord of the Rings trilogy being like the Book of Revelations.
Okay.
It's
so
that
pretty much
long.
Lord of the Rings trilogy is kind of the end of.
Yes.
So there's nothing like new after that.
No.
Okay. Cool. I guess because they kind of conquered everything, put everything to bed, no more problems.
Yeah, and men grew up, they took over the world, and then eventually it was hinted that at the end of Lord of the Rings, the age of man happened, and we are still in it.
Okay. All right. So
As Tolkien was out to create a mythology.
back to Tom.
Yeah.
All right. So
Go on.
Tom said that he had trained someone before.
The Dark Wizard. Yeah.
All right. Is he talking about Saruman?
No, he's talking about the Dark Wizard that's commanding all the people in the masks.
Okay, so he's talking about the dude that's like coming after him right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Word. Cool.
And he's going after, let's call him the Grand Elf. Because, yeah, if there's another Istar, i.e. another angel, that Tom says, oh, no, dude, this is what you are. This is how you use your power, go about your day. He's got an enemy that's on the same level.
Okay.
He ain't the big kid on the block no more.
Got you. But with him wanting to stop Gandalf from being the big kid on the block, at least from the first season, and maybe during the first season he was doing other things, but it doesn't seem like he's doing too much to really care whether someone else has power like him or not.
He sent the witch women, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, he just sitting. I mean, even if he sent them, he's just sitting in a like a little tomb or something. It doesn't seem like he wants too much. Like I could see if he was like, I want world domination. I'm out here doing things, but he's just kind of like not doing nothing.
See,
it doesn't seem like he needs to worry about competition because he's not really even competing.
Nah, bro, world domination happens in steps. Steps.
I got you. He got to be gradual with it.
Yeah, I mean, bruh. All right, so essentially, he's only been there long enough to get a record deal on a small label. All right, he's thrown out some mixtapes. He maybe got an EP out. That's it. He ain't gone double platinum. He ain't signed to Warner Brothers.
Okay, I got you. Okay. He's on the come up still.
Yeah, exactly. He's still out there in them streets. He ain't in the office.
All right, got you. All right, so okay. Another part that we get from Tom and I'll just say Gandalf because I assume it's Gandalf. Tom and Gandalf's conversation. Until they say it's not Gandalf, I'm saying he's Gandalf. All right, so he does say something along the lines of like it's not his place to fight.
Nope. He's a wanderer. Okay. And there's a couple of things about Tom that were made clear in the Fellowship of the Rings, the novel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Number one, Tom is kind of reborn every day. Because every day is a new day.
Oh, okay.
So it's questionable as to what he remembers and what he don't.
All right.
He knows the big picture.
Well, okay. Even with him knowing the big picture, I don't want to force anyone to fight, but I mean, maybe you don't have to be on the front lines, but I mean, with your skills, you could really, really help. I mean, Mordor is about to happen. I mean, well, no, it's happening. Like, maybe if you could just do like a little bit.
Nah.
Like,
think about it like a super rich, eccentric uncle. All right. So if you and your brother get into a pillow fight in your room at your super rich uncle's house, is he gonna bust in there throwing elbows and jabs.
No, but he might tell us to sit down somewhere.
Nah, I said your eccentric uncle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, not Uncle Ron. All right.
Super rich uncle. He's like too busy doing rich things.
Yeah.
He's like
And it's
out of the
like-
pool. He doesn't even know that we're doing it.
And it's one of those cling cling. Oh, they broke something. Guess I got to buy another one. You kids having fun? That's Tom.
Okay, I get it. But
All
at
right.
least he does seem to have a sense of urgency about the people that are chasing him, that like the masked guys, and that he's going to have to, like Gandalf's going to have to face off against who I assume is this sorcerer and
Sauron. Yeah.
Sauron.
Yeah. And he's like, you don't have to take care of this. But you could. That's what I pay you for. That's kind of what it was. Because it's like, dude, I ain't here to fight. I ain't about throwing hands. Because see, Tom can just go somewhere else and not have to think about it. This is why he wasn't involved in the War of the Ring. Because when I said he got like 3 or 4 chapters in Fellowship, it was him that got Merry and Pippin out of the Dark Forest. It was him. Like the scene on Weathertop where we first get to see Aragorn fight in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that wasn't in the book. Weathertop was in the book. However, in the book, Weathertop is a tomb. And they were attacked not by Nazgul, but by Barrow-wights. The things that attack Galadriel and her people.
Okay. So then, all right. So
and then Tom showed up with the weapons that killed them and gave them to the party. That's how the hobbits first got their swords and knives. Tom was like, oh yeah, those are Barrow-wights. They can only be killed by the weapons that killed them. Here they go.
Gotcha. All right, and we actually see some, I guess, tomb fighting in this new season already.
Yeah, same episode, as a matter of fact. Because those are the things that attack Galadriel, Elrond, and their little cadre.
Yeah. So, all right. So this is bringing into perspective a little bit more for me, since now I see sort of the perspective he has. The only thing I would ask, or if it's even been brought up to him, like in the book somewhere, I mean, I assume so, that since he is kind of a representation of the earth, or part of the earth, or earth personified, or whatever, if the orcs and stuff destroy it, doesn't that also like affect him in some way? Like, doesn't he have some skin in the game?
For a little bit. But see, here's the thing. The orcs aren't about destroying the planet. They're about changing the planet to be an orc planet. Okay. George Carlin said this when it came to climate change. We're not looking to save the planet. We're looking to save our habitability. It was here before we were. It'll be here when we're gone. And the planet is going to suck up everything that we do to it, all the pollution, all the stuff. And it's just going to incorporate into its own soil, and it's going to be Earth plus plastic. We can't live on Mars, but Mars is still there.
Wow.
And humans, elves, and dwarves aren't going to be able to live on Arda, but Tom will still be there.
Okay. Understood. Good. All right. So it's just interesting seeing someone like this that really doesn't seem pressed, especially if I'm to understand that he kind of knows the deal.
Yeah. And he doesn't care. Not because...
Well, I mean, it seems like he cares like a little bit, because he at least puts some...
So
I guess some importance on Gandalf, like, hey, I gotta train you because you're gonna have to fight. So he cares a little bit.
Well, did you ever know your great grandparents?
No, not really.
How about the eldest member of your family? The grandparent, the one that outlived everybody else, and the one who was old when you were born.
Yeah, like that's pretty much it. Like I have like pictures with
Okay.
like, them, but I've never sort of met them, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So essentially, I grew up with my great grandparents.
Hmm.
And all my great grandparents used to say to me when I would come to them with the idea that my world was shattering was, oh, baby, keep living.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I've heard that. I've heard that many times. Keep on living.
Because the older I got, the less the stuff I was concerned about when I was 8 mattered. I mean, even now at 47 years old, stuff I cared about when I was 20, it doesn't matter. It's just going to do its thing. And then people get over it. You know, the rain comes, the rain stops, cities flood, and they either rebuild or they don't. But the world goes on. And this is me at 47. Bombadil, by our scientific standards, is billions of years old.
Wow. So understood.
You know. So, but
I mean, you'll see tons of memes online about how people like, hey, I'm jaded and I don't really care. So imagine someone who's approximately billions of years old, how a brand new conflict doesn't really matter to him.
Or even the same conflict. That whole we've been fighting that fight since the 40s, hon. Like when your college age niece and nephews take their first Black History course. Or when your white friend takes their first Black History course. I can't believe that there's this injustice going on. Yeah, funny, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Like it's been going on like all the time.
Yeah. Oh, how can you deal with it? You just get used to it.
I don't know. You just one
armies
day at a time.
Yeah, armies come. There's always some dark lord or giant force or some dragon or another. They come up, they flex, they win, and then their civilization eats itself. Or they lose and the good guys build something and eventually that eats itself.
All right, I guess then last question before we get out of here for Tom Bombadil. Who was the lady he was talking to?
Goldberry. So you saw the director's cut of The Lord of the Rings, right?
I think so, but I can't remember everything, but yeah.
Well, when Merry and Pippin were hanging with Treebeard, trying to get them to go, and Treebeard was, spitting his bars, and they were like, God, will this guy shut up? And he asked them about the ant wives. Like, have you seen an ant wife? They're the wives of the trees. Now in this episode, we saw an ant wife. That's who your boy was like, look, I'm sorry for all the stuff that you've lost, and I'm gonna make sure that this forest gets left in peace. And I'm like, woo, I know where they are geographically. Yeah, she was one of the ant wives.
Okay.
All
right.
But Goldberry was the last. And Tom enchanted her to take a human form and then forgot that he had done that. And essentially, it was his girlfriend. And every morning, he picked lilies for her and brought her fresh spring water and doted over her and then went out and frolicked in the woods.
Okay. So but why don't we see her?
Probably because the producers are smart. Because the thing is, we only saw Goldberry once, and that was shortly after Buckleberry Ferry or shortly after Bree, when Old Man Willow actually swallowed Merry and Pippin, and Tom had to come along and sing that little song, which we got to see in the episode when Old Man Ironwood swallowed up the Grand Elf. You know,
Okay.
the whole, I was wondering if he could lend me a branch. Well, you should have asked him. And I really do like I was flabbergasted at episode 4 because the whole leaving Tom Bombadil out of the movies was huge. That was Tolkien fans were just, why are they leaving out Tom? He was an important part of the book. Whole time, you know how we be.
Yeah,
you know how people who read the books.
So
you know.
for me, someone who hasn't read the books, I'm like, who is this guy?
Yeah, you didn't miss him, and I'm like, yeah. And that's to make sure that our friends in the future watch the movies and like them instead of going, why are we wasting 45 minutes with this crazy person? You know.
Yeah, I will say Tom Bombadil probably makes way more sense for a TV show.
He does.
Similar in the way where you were talking about the kind of like
the scouring of the Shire.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I don't know if we can add another 30 to 45 minutes onto this movie.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and you know, that little thing he said, he's like, now what are you doing? There you go. Calm yourself. Take some breaths, go to sleep. And then he pulled the wizard out of the tree. Tom did that with Merry and Pippin, but I mentioned we saw Treebeard do the same thing. That song, or rather that spell, is really prominent because in episode 4 you got to see Ents, and as you can see, the Ents, they don't play around. You know, they do not play around. But the main reason they don't play around is because the trees are as old as the eagles, but they are way angrier. Way angrier.
Yeah,
I mean,
the trees did not seem it. Well, the trees in this one seemed really angry. The trees in the movie seemed to be very patient until they got riled up. Once they got riled up, but at first it was like, man, look, you're going wait. Like, it's very important what he's saying to you.
Well, see, what you saw and what you're talking about are not the trees. They are the tree herders, the Ents. All right, I ain't talking about the Ents. I'm talking about the trees. It's you're thinking about the shepherds. I'm talking about the flock.
Okay. All right.
And the trees themselves are angry. They want everybody gone because from their perspective, that's their planet. They were there first. You know, and then you got these bipeds coming around, either telling them how to grow so that they could climb up in them and try and live, or you got these other bipeds coming around chopping them up. Living in the bones of your children, as it were.
Okay.
That's why the Ents exist. The Ents exist to be like, whoa, let me talk to the people doing this to make sure that we don't just go around and kill everybody. For all we know, they could be part of the cycle.
All right. Okay.
But the trees themselves, again, the wizard, the one that pretty much said, I am good, not evil, got eaten up by a tree for trying to pluck a branch. Okay. Just think about how dead would any of us be if the tree would eat us every time we tried to go pick a switch.
Yeah.
Or say, get some fruit. You know, if the plants and vines that grow our vegetables and stuff like that attacked us every time we tried to pick some. Because that's where the trees in Middle Earth are.
Wow. Okay.
Especially the older ones. The older they get, the more crotchety they get.
Wow. All right, cool. Well, you know what? Thanks for rolling through, dropping some knowledge on Tom, because that's one person that had a lot of question marks beside, like, okay, who is this guy? Never heard of this guy. I need more info. But I'll throw it to you. for some quick final thoughts and where can people find you?
Yeah, we never did a final thought on episode 4. And my final thoughts on episode 4 as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
it was really good. Not just because my nostalgia buttons were pumped up from seeing Tom Bombadil and realizing that Isildur and Hardcore Elfbra were in the middle of Fangorn, pretty much saying, we're going to make this Fangorn. But because, yeah, we still got Elrond being obstinate, which he needs to be. And we got a decent amount of action in this one and a decent amount of character development. The whole thing with the Harfoots and the desert hobbits, you know, and why they're wandering. I'm like, okay, they're looking for the Shire because a dude saw it in a dream. All right, I'm with it. Cool.
I did think that was kind of cool. I thought that was a nice way to like put that together. Even, you know, because of course I don't know the extra book stuff. So when I saw that, I was like, oh,
well,
okay,
I don't remember
cool.
that stuff from the book, so I'm gonna have to jump in the text this week.
Because I saw that and I was like, oh man, that's cool. Okay, I see. So I was like, okay, so I guess that's supposed to be the Shire that they were looking for.
Yeah,
I guess.
I mean, they described it. A place where the ground is soft and you could dig a hole and live in it within a couple of months. Those are hobbit holes.
So yeah, I thought that was awesome. And then her pretty much Nori being like, I'm sorry, but we haven't found it yet.
Yeah. You know, when she could have lied. When she could have said, yeah, we're here to pick y'all up. Just don't kill us, you know? She straight up did the right thing because she is a lawfully good character.
Yeah. She's someone that I think we can trust in general. She might be naive, but we can trust her.
Exactly. You know, and had little meet cute with her best friend and the idiot boy. You know.
Oh man. I mean, he locked eyes with her. Dude. It was like, oh snap, hold up.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, all right, I see that. And cool. I'm glad it's the sidekick. You know.
Yeah, you know,
I'm glad it's the Sam of this show.
You know what? You're right. She is the Sam of the show. But my bad. Go ahead. Tell what it is.
So honestly, yeah, I'm with this. As we said earlier, season 2 is head and shoulders above season 1. There are going to be a lot of negative reviews out there, and y'all can come for me at twitch.tv/bid_p or at backinthedeck@gmail.com, because honestly, I have seen and liked way worse shows than this, and I'm not disappointed by it. You know, so far this is looking pretty good, and I'm enjoying watching the show. It doesn't even feel like it's an hour long.
Nah.
You know, and that's a big thing for me. If I'm watching a show and it feels like an hour and it's not 3 hours, then I'm kind of going, okay, should I scrub through this? I don't know. I might miss something important. You know, there were some episodes of Star Trek that felt like they took all day. Not just seasons 1 and 2 of Picard.
Oh man.
I'm just keeping it real. All right. And so yeah, I'm really digging this show. I'm really liking this show. Yeah, so come out and see me, talk with me about this stuff, and if you disagree, you can try and light me up, but you got to be ready to discuss it and not just give me a "you're stupid, you don't know the lore." Because you know, we can talk. I'm up for any idea. But the just plain attack and leaving one comment, hey, you can do that too. Helps the algorithm. But y'all ain't gonna make me sweat. You know, because this stuff is my piece.
Yeah, I've decided to, on any of these kind of quintessentially white-led properties, don't even follow the online because I already know where it's going.
Yeah. Well, I'm like Bernie Mac with this. I'm like, you don't understand. I ain't scared of y'all.
Shouts to Bernie.
You know, seriously, I'm straight up like Bernie on Def Comedy Jam when it comes to this stuff, because the cast is amazing. You know, um, I like watching the diverse cast. I like watching the different flavors and accents and all that stuff that's brought to it. And if your ideal fantasy doesn't have a place for me in it outside of chains, that ain't my problem. That's yours.
Word, word. But yeah, yeah, uh, the well stated, well stated. I'll just say that, like, very well stated.
Sorry, I just woke up from a nap, everybody, so I get a little cranky.
But anyway, go and tell where you think you find you.
Yeah, y'all can find me at twitch.tv/BID_P. And you can reach out to me on my YouTube channel at Solar Gray, or you can drop me an email at backinthedeck@gmail.com. That's BACKINTHEDECK@gmail.com.
That's what's up. This what's up. For me, final thoughts. Like I said, I like this show a lot. This show is getting much better than season one. I think season one we had to get our vegetables in. I wish we could have got our vegetables in a different way. I think
Just
they
a
gave
little
us the
bit of butter and
vegetables.
spices, you know?
Season one was the vegetables where they just boil them to where they're almost mushy.
Yeah,
And
like season one was unseasoned.
They should
you
have
know?
gave us the vegetables that were like roasted, over a fire and then put on.
A little bit of caramelization, just a little bit of char.
Yeah, a little char on it. That would have been great. But episode 4, I think my favorite part is Aaron Deere cutting his way out of the snake thingy.
I figured that would be your favorite part.
He just comes through. All right, he comes through, and then when he said, "There's many things that are nameless or whatever, but I'll call this supper," I was like, "Oh yes, this is what I'm talking about." So he's awesome, but of course, like the stuff with the hard feet and the I cannot remember the other people, like the Soar or whatever they call themselves.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool too, especially with like the Shire kind of link thing. But with that said, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. And until the next time that you have to fight against the mud snake monster, we're just saying peace.
later, everybody.